part 2 of day 20 in LA, and it was time to take the trip over to Altadina, I think it is, and the home of the Funky Junk Farms. And there's John and Ed and Barry looking at something in the trailer there, but it was cool to hang out with these guys. I mean, they're absolutely hilarious to hang out with and just so unique and so passionate about what they collect, and it's pretty cool to just walk around and get a guided tour of some of the amazing things they have in the backyard, all kinds of stuff. And it was pretty cool of John, there he is there, to give us a bit of a guided tour and tell us about some of the pieces.
This is an old DeSoto, Andrew. You've heard of Jergens lotions? You probably used Jergens lotion in the middle of the night when you were a kid. They have that in, are you from Australia? It's like a lotion, it's a lubricant. Most Americans use.
No, it's not that.
It's a lotion is what it is.
Right.
And it's a famous lotion. Jergens lotion is a famous lotion. I'm not advertising for Jergens, but one of the heirs for Jergens back in the 40s, one of the daughters of the original guy that founded it from the late 1800s, this was her personal car that she was driven around in.
Wow.
This is a 48 DeSoto.
Okay.
It's a 8-passenger
Whoa.
sedan.
Okay.
3 rows of seats, so you might want to take a look at it. It's pretty picture.
Man. Crazy.
It's got the luggage rack and everything. I just uncovered it so you can take a look at it. Customized spare tires back.
Yeah, so it was an incredible car. I mean, 3 seats, just bizarre to look at, but amazing sort of vehicle. And that was the cool thing about walking around. You just wasn't sure what was going to be around every corner, and everywhere you looked there was something to check out at least. And a bit like Baron Margot's place. And speaking of Baron Margot, they had one of his pieces. Here it is. But back to the tour with John.
Andrew, this place is called the Altadina Water Gardens. Funky Junk Farms originally was Altadina Water Gardens, built in 1920, and we bought it 5 years ago. But there's 70 fish ponds still here from the original water garden from back in the day when they used to supply fish, aquatic plants, and things like that to all the different mansions and other people that had ponds in their yards around the Pasadena, whole San Gabriel, Southern California valley of San Gabriel Valley. But as you can see, how beautifully the ponds have maintained throughout the years. But now we call it the Funky Junk Farms and Altadina Water Swamp.
What's your story, man? How did you get involved in all this?
Well, I'm 46 years old. Been collecting old cars and whatnot my whole life, and one thing led to another. I got into. I've owned hundreds and hundreds of classic cars, like most of us that you've probably met, even in Southern California. We've been, we're kind of car freaks. Yeah. And then one thing led to another, and I started getting into the vintage trailers back in the 20 years ago.
Right.
And then I'm in the film business. I hooked up with Steve, and Steve as you met earlier, is a restoration man. So he builds and collects, and I'm just more of a collector and kind of that kind of guy.
Right.
So Funky Junk Farms is the kind of company that we started with my girlfriend Ed Lum and Steve Butcher, and it's a few things, a variety of things. Once we have a prop house, we have a film location, we have art services, and we have a vintage trailer restoration shop, and plus we're Teamsters. We work in the studios and stuff like that too.
Right.
So anyway, we kind of utilize our location here in Altadena is for parties and whatnot. So we have a good time. 2-3 times a year we have parties. Live bands, live music, DJs, the whole 9 yards.
I can imagine.
This is the social area of Funky Junk Farms, and Steve's shop is where the serious business is taken care of, where of course where the client can interact with the restoration guy and have a good time. But this is our home also. This is our home, and it's also our party place,
awesome,
social
man.
environment.
Awesome.
And it's a resting ground, a retirement home for a lot of wacky RVs and stuff that would never get any love anywhere else. They get it here at Funky Junk Farms.
Okay. Have you got like a favorite piece for you?
You know what? My favorite piece is gonna be the next one I buy.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
But this, I tell you, I've wanted one of these for years. This is a 1958 Cadillac Camper, but it's a hearse that was converted into a camper. This piece back here is interesting. This is 1958 with a 1960s camper body on it.
Right.
This piece right here is interesting because this is a 1948 cottage home trailer. Now, a cottage, you know what a cottage is, a little house.
Yep.
Look at that thing.
It's crazy.
That's an actual trailer.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And it was built in 1948. And in every generation of trailers, every 10 years, they would keep the same accoutrements in it. I don't know the right word for it, so I use that word.
So is this always something you wanted to do? Obviously, like when you're collecting stuff, yeah?
Yeah. I've been collecting my whole life. Like I said, I've owned hundreds of cars and I collected furniture and whatnot my whole entire life. And one thing leads to another. It's all connected in a way. As you get older, I'm 46 now. You know, it's all. As you meet people with like minds, you know, we're all into the same thing. Old houses, architecture, women. You know what I mean? This little bus right here was previously at one time owned for many years by the famous blues musician Taj Mahal, who's just a dear friend, but also, and he's been to our house many times, and this was his hippie bus that he didn't tour the country with it, but he had it when he was living in Topanga Canyon back in the 60s. And I'm really excited to have this piece. I bought this thing on eBay.
Wow.
And I knew a real close personal friend of his, and one thing led to another. We ended up becoming friends. So he comes out every once in a while, and it's a treat whenever he comes.
Yeah.
And this is a great piece. This is a 1935 Chevy. We're restoring it. It looks like crap now, but it actually has a beautiful running 327 Chevy motor, a newer 1970 Corvette motor in it.
Right.
And then the interior, we've actually taken off all this skin. I don't know if you can tell, Andrew, or not, but all this skin's been taken off. I put a new subfloor in with original linoleum from the 1930s. And all the wood inside it's all new wood, and we put the original skin back on the outside.
Okay.
So it still has that same original patina, but the actual structure has all been restored.
Yeah, so it was a fun afternoon checking out all the stuff at Funky Junk Farms. They're a bunch of great guys, and make sure you check them out on the website. Plenty of stuff to see, and a huge thanks to Barry too for all the adventures in LA. It was just awesome hanging out with him and sharing the adventure, but we're wrapping things up for Los Angeles.
Walk around here with you. What an amazing thing to find.
Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, hooking up with us and calling us up. We love sharing this stuff. We get, believe it or not, we have 2 or 3 parties a year at least 200 to 300 people, 200 people probably, and then we get people from around the world. We probably get 500 to 600 people a year that don't know who we are, who have run across us on the website, who love vintage Americana, and they come here and they say, look, we've had people show up to our house and they say, look, they can't barely speak English, and they say, look, is it okay if we hang out? And it's like, even though I work 80 hours a week, in the film business, what can you say when these people are here? They wanted us to learn about America and get off on this. This is history, so it's a different way. You can't say no.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So it's nice. We get to share it to people worldwide, and also it's a beautiful thing. It shows appreciation. I've been to Europe a couple times, and people didn't even know me. I'd be walking down the street, and because the way I look and whatnot, it sparked their interest. And next thing I know, I've eaten dinner at their house. They've spent the night at their house, and I've.
It's the magic of it, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's the magic of it.
And that's the beautiful thing about the world that we never hear about in the news. We always hear about war and all the negative stuff. Those are the things that are beautiful, that we give each other love and the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And it seems to always work out. So this is our way of kind of giving back.
Yeah, rock on, buddy.
Yeah.
You're working your way from the ground on down, your way from the ground on down, on.